His body doesn't. He doesn't understand what's going on with his own body. Someone needs to sit him down and talk to him about it.
Alright.
That's not my job. I'm a lady. I don't know about that stuff. La 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 la.
So indeed, it is.
You know nothing, Nora.
Been the first day of Lance Meet. You guys heard the first opening statements from Master Tully and his Maester Women, I believe, was his name.
I think so. Had like a V in it.
Indeed. After that, like you said, you had a few small folks events, including wrestling, some drinking, and, well, the next day, some of you wake up with the worst hangover you have ever had, and,
You got violently ill from getting drunk.
Indeed, is there, I don't remember if there was hangover rules in this game, I don't believe so.
Fuck no.
But, you just, for the short and sweet of it, feel like shit.
A very common feeling for Crone.
He's like, I felt this feeling many a time.
This ain't my first rodeo.
And it shan't be the last.
Squire, bring me wine. Bring me wine.
Meanwhile, I'm over here being fine because I'm not a fucking drunk.
This is true.
We all have our sins.
Yeah.
She without the first sin, throw the first stone. I am a perfect lady, thank you very much. Who just so happens to make weapons of war.
I have no stones to throw.
I just have bottles.
If I threw them, I'd probably miss.
I just have bottles to throw.
So, I think my character would be the first to wake up because I'm not hungover.
Yeah.
Probably.
Arthur is also not hungover.
Between the two of them.
Yeah. You two would definitely be the first ones up.
Good morning, my lady.
She just smiles. Well, it's morning.
How did you sleep last night, my lady?
Oh, I'm fine. Just spent the night reading a book and then went to bed thinking of plans that I have. Let's see. Where the fuck will I be? Oh. Actually, yeah, this table up here, up the north of the.
Holy shit!
Don't mind me loading some pictures onto the map, because it's morning and there's been a small change of
That is an incredibly large African man.
customers.
That's also, I think, the only black, like, little character portrait art I've ever fucking seen. Because nobody ever draws any.
Yeah, they're pretty rare. I only have like a less than dozen.
Yeah, I could find like a lot of PC pictures and the like, but someone posed the challenge to me in one game. He asked me to find him a non-fantasy, like a noir 1920s picture of a black person. And I spent 3 hours trying to find something.
Well, that's very...
My favorite piece of art. I'm just gonna find it. Where is it? You know when you have far too many character pieces?
Yeah.
So my favorite non-obviously white character portrait I have, where is he? Here is this one. Just mwah. When I'm using him and he does have both his arms, I just crop it so you only see the upper part of his torso.
Yeah.
You just don't see the fact that he is missing his right arm.
Yeah.
But it's also good when I'm like, oh, I need a character with a interesting look. I'm gonna use this one-armed man.
You said not obviously white. I actually thought he was like mixed race.
I look at him as being Dornish. Like, in this game, I would say that's what a Dornish person would look like.
He looks like a Spaniard.
Which is what Dorn is based off.
Spain.
Yeah, Spain, Portugal.
You know the actor from Oberyn, like he's supposed to be a Spanish dude as he is in real life, but he looks exactly like this Indian kid I used to go to school with.
Mm-hmm.
Same face and everything.
Alright,
So,
let's see. For breakfast for 5 visitors is boiled eggs and bitter cheese as option 1.
Boiled eggs? You mean poached eggs?
Well, either way. Let's see. There's
So
some
it was eggs and
slightly baked chicken and soft cheese. Great breakfast there.
That's more of a lunch, in my opinion.
And baked trout and blueberry tart, actually, interestingly.
Baked trout and blueberry tart.
I mean, I'd have that for dinner. That is definitely a.
Yeah,
That's a dinner and a dessert.
Yeah.
You know
So
what?
I'm gonna go with it was eggs and cheese, right?
And I don't know how to pronounce that first word there.
Can you post it for me?
Gross.
Raised grouse.
A grouse is a type of bird.
Well, okay. There you go.
And braising is basically grilling, like you know, a grilled cheese sandwich. That's what braising is.
Well, I just didn't know what the fuck a grouse is.
Yeah.
It's pronounced grouse, and it's a bird.
I only know about it because of Soviet Womble. I'm going to shoot my grouse with the oog.
Yep.
Yeah. Fucking Soviet Womble.
I only seen like that Vietnam World War II game from
Yes.
him.
I watched his videos on Armor and I went out and bought it.
I may have also done that as well.
I had a lot of fucking fun in that game.
I need to get back into it. Find an Australian server that's playing Anti-Stasi.
Let's see.
I could not find a single fucking server playing Anti-Stasi. I just find the Anita map.
Oh right, I forgot that the prices were included with the rooms in this inn because this is a good inn, so they won't price you.
I had a sassy Nigerian
Separately.
helicopter pilot.
So, yeah, I have the eggs and cheese, and do I want to be out early?
May I sit with you and break my fast, my lady?
Oh, of course. I wouldn't stop you, even if you asked. We are both here on behalf of my father.
Very well, my lady.
And it's always nice to have company of a morning. So, do I notice anyone in the inn that is recognizable?
Well, you kinda look around and it's morning, people are waking up, getting just breakfast like you.
Mm-hmm.
Um, from where you're looking from, there's a couple of new people that strike your eye that seem a little bit out of the ordinary. There's a man by the bar, a little older looking man. Hold on, let me actually see his picture. And he seems to be escorted by not a knight, but more like a... I would actually describe him like your typical like adventurer.
Oh, a sellsword.
Yeah. He's dressed in more like traveling clothes and is more or less like armored.
Mm-hmm.
And in the middle table, you see somebody that sticks out like a sore thumb out of everybody. Is this darkish looking man. That doesn't seem like he's from here. And he seems to be doing some kind of some work on the paper.
Mm-hmm.
Aside from that, there doesn't seem to be any notable individuals. I mean, aside from, since this is a good inn, most of the people here look like they're well off.
Yeah, obviously, they're here.
But, yeah.
So, I would assume they would have, like, at the end of the first land meet, we would have been told what the schedule is for tomorrow.
Yes, they would have told you that the next meeting is actually today.
Yeah, like today,
around
when it is,
like
what it's about.
midday-ish.
Mm-hmm. Any idea what we're going to be talking about?
Since yesterday was the like opening speech, quote unquote, the first meeting is usually like it's not like an introduction meeting, but it's more in like general, like a brief overview.
Mm-hmm. Just okay, this is what we're going to be talking about. This is what.
Yeah.
Yesterday was the hey, how like
Formalities and all that.
Yeah.
this is the hey everyone, let's do this thing, and then today is the okay, this is what we're gonna be doing. It's more formal, less more actually talking about things, less party. Where yesterday was more party.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
okay,
why
so
even like yesterday when you were at the meeting hall, there were a couple of notable houses missing because nobody
Right.
would could have been bothered to show up.
So yeah, okay. After I've finished my breakfast, I'm going to politely ask our dear friend, which one is it? I'm trying to. I think it's Arthur. Yeah, Arthur. I'm going to politely ask Arthur to retrieve the others.
Oh yeah, that's a problem. Okay, yeah. That is one bird.
I will get about
So-
it, my lady.
If they're asleep, let them. If they're too asleep, let them rest. I just wanted to inform them that I'm going to be heading up to the castle, and that maybe one of them would like to accompany me.
Shall I accompany you instead? Because most likely they are
I would still
quite
like
intoxicated.
I would still like them to know where I've gone.
Very well. I shall leave a note.
Do you have language 4?
No.
Out of character. Then you can't write.
It's language 3 that allows them to write.
I thought it was language 4. Language 3
3
is,
might be read and 4 might be write, I believe.
Yeah, and that's what I assumed it was.
Fucking
too.
grim.
I know, there's a reason why my character has 4 language, I believe.
Yeah, you have a good
3
grasp of
language,
the
okay.
language and have basic ability to read.
Hmm.
4 is a solid grasp of the language and your reading level is excellent.
And then 5 is writing.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah,
Well,
there's
no-
a reason why not many
No,
people
5
can
is
write.
excellent understanding of the language and its various dialects. You can read most forms of the written language.
It doesn't mention
So-
writing?
No, it doesn't mention
There's
reading
no
at all. Once
mentioning
you
of
can read,
writing
you can write.
anywhere. So it can be presumed that you get writing at 3 as
3.
well.
3.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it would be like
Yeah.
basic, like went to castle, or went to large building, or you know.
I would assume that it's similar to the ability to read, where it gets better as reading.
Yeah,
is.
I would assume as well.
Yeah, you can leave them a note.
So Arthur leaves them a note. Should we roll language to see how well the note is written?
I'm more curious where you're leaving this note.
I'm leaving it on the nearest table.
No, you don't need to do that.
Leave it with the barkeep. He can.
Yeah, I'll leave it with the barkeep. Tell him to give my companions this note when they leave.
Alright.
Well,
does the
to-
note exactly say that you're going to the castle?
Pretty much. We went to the castle.
Alright.
so to Riverrun. To Riverrun Castle, not Riverrun
Yeah.
the town. We're already in Riverrun the town.
You're already in the
I was about to
town.
say, mission accomplished.
More XP, please. No, that's not how it works. You can't just invent random quests that you already have done.
Says you.
You're just not thinking sandboxy enough.
You make a bunch of small quests. That's like, I will get to the castle. Yay, I got to the castle. I will go
I
find
walk
someone
through
to
the
talk
castle
to.
front door.
I speak to person. What is this? A fucking MMO?
Anyway,
Yeah.
we're heading off to.
We'll
Riverrun.
focus on you two for a little bit longer, and then we'll, since they're gonna be sleeping a little late. You go up to the castle. It's pretty well guarded in the morning, especially now when there's the whole land meet going on. But after recognizing that you are from house and you might have business here, they won't stop you.
So, anyone out in the yard of the morning?
Let's see.
Drop the pen. I'm not writing notes.
Can't prove nothing.
I mean, might as well. I'm not especially. Like, if you're looking for somebody notable here, not exactly. I mean, there's the Maester over there, picking some morning sunlight.
You know what? I've got an idea. So,
Uh-oh, we're
Okay,
all
okay,
doomed.
Marcus, can you repeat that sentence to me? I can't help but get the idea you said he's picking some morning sun. And I'm trying to figure out how one does that.
You know, you just pick it up.
So yeah,
Okay.
Nora walks up to him and goes, "What was his name again, Maester?
Women.
Maester Women, how are you this morning?"
Like that. Don't bother asking me how you're supposed to pronounce that. I have no idea.
Vyman?
Vyman?
Wyman?
Wyman?
Maybe?
Vyman?
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
that's
Let's
what
say
it might be.
Wyman.
So Vyman, if you pronounce V like with V, and if you are German or you pronounce it with the W noise, I guess it'd be
Wyman.
Wyman.
Let's say Wyman.
Wyman.
You need to respect Wyman.
Yeah, so I walk up to him and say good morning to him, obviously.
Oh,
Yeah.
morning.
I decided to get here nice and early while the air is nice and fresh and the sun's just getting up.
Oh, well, for me it is midday during the bell. When the bell rings, the landsmith will continue.
Yes, but it wouldn't hurt to know what what we're going to be talking about today.
Yes, let me see my schedule. He opens like this old ledger and starts going through it. Let's see, opening speech was done yesterday. Here we are on day 2. General politics and discussions about the land. Let's see. House Krell is complaining about bandits on their territory. They want to bring that up. And he goes that's like one example of a like a small thing that nobody really cares about. There's a land dispute that is supposed to be discussed. Lord Holster Tully will open the ceremony as usual. Are you looking for something specific or just curious?
Well, knowledge is... how to put this? Knowledge is power in this world. If you know what you're going to be talking about, you can more eloquently discuss the situation at hand instead of just being surprised by it. I may not be in line to inherit my family's land like my little brother, but like most women, I will end up marrying someone, so I would like to know a thing or two and not be utterly useless.
I see. Well, seems like there's not too much going on today. Just mainly a glorified glorified introduction day. Honestly, I don't see the reason why they have this.
Well,
But
why we couldn't
I
have done
guess
that
it's
yesterday.
necessary step, as not all of the houses have even arrived yet. We're gonna go through some of the minor houses stuff like House Page and House Lolliston and such.
Mhm.
Of course, if your house has anything to bring up at this
That is a good question. Have I been told anything by my father
I don't seem to recall from the rolls that we made that there would have been anything really specific going on at your lands.
I think at the moment we are literally just rebuilding from the war.
Maybe at the most a small dispute about the ferry who actually owns it and such, but let's not bother going there.
Mm-hmm.
But if you want to bring anything up, you feel free. Welcome to.
Oh, my father didn't have any pressing matters that he brought to me.
Oh,
Just to... If I had any thoughts on matters that were discussed, asked to bring them up, because, well, to be honest, I'm a bit smarter than my little brother. He's still young. He still has a chance at being a good lord.
Indeed. Now, if you don't have pressing matters, I'm supposed to give a class in a few minutes.
A class on what?
Oh, just teaching the younglings here at the castle, just about the history, about our lands.
Oh, does she go along with him? Who's going to be there?
Oh, like I said, the younglings around this castle.
I
But
assume
mostly
Edmund
like
is already-
young kids and stuff like that that are like really young, like.
I'd like to make a
So,
note.
so she's
some
going
fucking-
to.
Some noble hero wouldn't made a D2 dice. The most worthless piece of shit ever.
So a coin?
Yeah.
So, she's going to, with jest in her voice, say, and I assume Edmure has long past your studies.
Well, of course. This is only meant for the young.
I might go
I'm
have a look at the blacksmith.
uneducated. It's literally like, if I were to compare it to modern day, it's like elementary school.
Kindergarten. Yeah, she says, I'm gonna go have a look at the blacksmith, see what he's doing.
Alright.
With the climate of recent years, it's been busy work for people like him.
Maester nods and says, well, it was a pleasure meeting you.
Maester,
Likewise.
if I may speak up, do you know of someone who can make a saddle for a dog-like creature of massive proportions?
A dog-like creature, well, would depend how big, but should ask the stable masters. They usually know what they're talking about. Perhaps a educated blacksmith might be able to help you there too.
Very well. Thank you, Maester Wyman.
Yeah, and he nods again and slowly walks off. Alright, we'll
I'm-
finally transfer over to the other group who wake up with a splitting headache.
I didn't participate in the drinking contest.
And not all of us got drunk at the drinking contest.
Oh yes, that motherfucker right there has a natural, unholy constitution.
So, yeah, the three of you go downstairs at the inn, and you try and look around, but you cannot find Nora or Arthur. Yeah, Arthur.
Karen just goes down and orders food and starts eating it.
Eamon, shouldn't your cousin be up by now?
Probably. Although where she could be is a good question.
In fact, actually, when you go up to the bar and you're talking about that, the innkeeper kind of looks at you and is like, "Oh, your friend left you a message."
Really now? Can I see it?
He hands over the note.
I'm like looking, reading it over. What does it say?
It says actually no, Arthur wrote it, didn't he? Yeah.
Yeah, and I believe
It says, we went to the castle. You're all a bunch of filthy drunks.
Alright, I'll make note of that in the sailor's log. So I look over
Well,
at
what's it
again.
say?
They went to the castle. About it, really.
So it appears we were only needed for the road. Though I thought the castle was the most dangerous spot for such antics.
Antics of what? Diplomacy?
Indeed.
This is true. Also, according to whoever wrote this letter, we're all a bunch of filthy drunks. If my cousin wrote this, she may have a point.
You notice that it isn't my handwriting. My handwriting is far better.
But based on the fact that this person wrote a 2 instead of an A, I'm going to definitely presume that Arthur wrote this.
Well, the assumption that we're filthy drunks is quite insulting. I didn't get drunk at all.
I agree entirely. More wine. That was a command, bartender.
You didn't get drunk at all. You didn't drink enough.
The bartender kind of shrugs because customer is always right in here, so he pours you a glass of wine.
Thank you.
I mean, I believe that might be a little bit of extra, but let's not care about that.
I'll pay for it.
I mean, I believe it's like only 3 or 2 copper pieces.
I'll pay for it.
Yeah, exactly.
What do you think I am?
Since I don't believe there's an exact price on alcohol.
Marcus is like, it's
So shall we try to find your cousin?
Dragons.
Let me see.
Nobody drinks but the rich.
Let's see, alcohol, price. They have a price for water skin. A flask is 2 silver pieces, but you're not exactly looking for a flask. You're literally asking for a glass of alcohol.
Shall we head off and try to find your cousin?
You can. I'm gonna go wander the streets.
Well, I'm going where you're going.
I suppose we're both wandering the streets, aren't we?
I guess so.
Khan asked the bartender about any if he knows what contests are taking place today.
Oh, today? Oh, today is the play, actually. For, at the theater. No, events.
I look up. There's a play.
Well, that sounds like an amusing way to kill some time.
I agree.
I've never felt a more demanding calling in my whole life. Excuse me.
let,
By that I
let
mean
us
I
go
have I
enjoy
have
the local
specialty die
thespians.
and act. I've been waiting for this my whole life.
So the three of you, three of you
Yeah.
exit the inn after eating some breakfast.
And we're gonna go enjoy the arts that are performed by the local thespians.
I have to be an honorary guest actor.
So where do you go first? The castle or?
Well, we're looking for the play.
Okay.
Yeah, screw the castle.
You go to the fairground, and it doesn't take you too long finding the theater. It's pretty big. Honestly, you can't miss it. I mean, I could ask you to try and find it, but no bother.
Please don't.
No! Orientation, everybody! Yeah, no.
I have 6 survival. I can get us there.
So you go up to the Grand Theater. It's quite a big and showy building. It seems to be, since it's the morning still, it's, well, not exactly the morning, but pretty early in the day. It's getting set up as some people are walking in. And there seems to be a small crowd starting to gather for the early morning play.
Well, I guess we try to get the best seats in the house.
Yeah?
It seems that this little here theater does there seems to be like a small little ticket vendors going around. They're asking for a silver per like a normal seat.
Alright?
Yeah?
Which is more than a fair price for a small folk. I mean, that is a little pricey for them, but hey, it's a play.
I asked if there are any opening casting spots.
The vendor that you're asking to is like, oh, the actors were chosen long ago. There's no spots, but there's always free play that you can go when the show is not on and do your own little act on the open stage.
Alright.
He shows you like this schedule, and there's like the morning play, then there's the midday play, and the night like evening play. But between those plays there's like a small period of time where there's like an open night, like an kind of like an open mic. But since there's no mics, it's just literally that some fucker can walk up there and do whatever. They're like small, like an hour spot, pretty much. And those are free.
Alright.
So, you, do you guys pay for the tickets?
Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah?
You kind of take a look around and you see quite a young crowd actually here in the morning. You didn't quite take a look at what you're going to watch, but you go and find your seat. It doesn't matter where, you can be here on the balcony or over here. The skyboxes, those are for really important people or those who just pay the...
Well, we're looking for the best spots in the house, so...
Alright, the best spot in the house would be 1 gold if you want to take the skybox.
Holy cow, oh no.
No.
Yeah, those
Take
are for nobles.
You take the skybox and get assassinated.
So, you guys, I would assume, go to the balcony. There are slightly better seats, maybe. Well, better view. And, for the next hour, well, first, you enter the stage, you see runs 5, like, jesters. And they're throwing balls and, like, doing all kinds of, like, hijinks to amuse the crowd, and you finally realize why the crowd was quite young looking. This is a play for a little younger audience. In fact, the clones, well, jesters in this case, do the good old classic, like for example, the pie gag. And do all kinds of little hijinks there. So if your character is into that stuff, hey, I won't judge you. But those who aren't, you might be a little disappointed that
What you're telling me is what you're telling me is that the B Team's barbecue is currently going on on stage. And we never truly will find out who threw that pie at Kevin Owens, will we?
It's a good thing we didn't pay for the skybox.
I know, right? But that amuses you for like an hour or two. There's the first, like, the clowns, and then there's like something else, like kind of like a magician, quote unquote, if they even existed in the Game of Thrones.
Yeah, you'd roll to do it mechanically. You'd roll thievery, sleight of hand. It lets you do tricks.
I was just gonna roll a chance to see how impressive he is. Alright, he's pretty acceptable. He does the good old rabbit from the hat and such on. He's not half bad, honestly, to you guys. He's the only impressive thing that you go like, okay, that was almost worth it. But here we're gonna take a little small lunch break, actually. So if anybody needs to grab something, my dog is fucking crying at me, as you can hear. So lunch break. 5 minutes, everybody.
Actually, old mama, like old performance and such, as far as like entertaining an audience and such, is persuasion.
This is true. However, I'm going to perform because I have the deception specialty act.
So what, you're gonna pretend to be cool?
I've never seen a more prime opportunity to use it than right now. But no, I'm going to pretend to be a pig, otherwise known as your mother.
Oof.
Joke's on you, Con doesn't know who his mother is.
Oof again.
He's trying to turn his joke around. Make me feel bad for him. Surprise action, I don't!
That would have hurt my feelings if the army ever issued me any.
Okay, I'm back with some lunch, so we're gonna keep going, but I'm gonna be eating at the same time, so when I go quiet, you know why. So, going back to Nora and Arthur.
Mm-hmm.
What were you exactly doing? You left the castle and...
You know what? I'm gonna head back to the inn.
Okay. You head back to the inn.
Just wait around until just before the
Okay, you're just gonna be waiting around at the killing time.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair enough. Well, going back in that case to Eamon, Dagon, and Gordon. What are you guys doing? The play ends after a few hours.
I'm going to ask one of the actors if I can get a chance to speak with them. Is every play going to be like that?
Oh, no, the midday play will be a dramatic reenactment of, and he says like some famous play.
Very well.
I would say Shakespeare, but I don't think Shakespeare
No,
was in Game of Thrones.
No, I mean, it could be like I don't know, considering how close of a time period it is. I don't know. It could be a play on the on Rhaegar stealing Lyanna, or that dramatic scene whereby he rode past Elia Martell.
Yeah. And the evening play is gonna be a tragedy play of Death of King. Insert name here.
I won't.
Have to say Rhaegar and the Kingslayer, but
Rhaegar wasn't the king, though.
I mean, not Rhaegar, but whatever.
Also, if this was the tragedy of Aerys Targaryen II dying would be a tragedy. But this is the Tullys.
Let me think. Is there like any tragedies lately? I need to really. This is what happens when I haven't looked up yet, but it's some kind of a tragedy play. I'm just gonna say that right now. It's like the death of some like famous king.
Gotcha.
If this was further on into the timeline, I could say like the death of King Robert.
I forget what there was a king who Tywin was talking about him. I think he was a Targaryen. Everyone like really liked his reforms because he was like very just, but his brother fucking murdered him.
Yeah, there you go. Play about him. And of course, finishing up with a classic opera.
His name is Orys, Orrys.
Please.
Found
And that's pretty much the schedule that he says. Like the midday is gonna be a little bit more or less serious play, and then the night play is gonna be like a tragedy story, and the like late night show is gonna be like opera.
Alright. Eamon, do you wish to witness all of these, or?
Sure, why not?
Then I guess we spend the day partaking in
I'll be with them.
the plays.
Okay. So the two of you just stick around at the nearby theater. Well,
Three of us.
Yeah, the three of you. So I might as well have focused back to Nora and Arthur. So the two of you have been sticking around at the inn. And the time passes by really quickly till the midday bell rings, signaling that the landsmith is about to start, which also the people at the theater can hear.
You know what? Eamon will at some point, out of boredom, will try and perform something on play, on the stage.
Yeah, after the first morning act was over, first they clear up the stage, but then they're like, if anybody wants to come up and do something, you have 5 minutes per person.
Alright. And Eamon will kind of come on stage.
And you do see a couple of people come up like an aspiring bard goes up on stage and so on. Some asshole goes up and reads poetry.
But this is fantasy poetry.
Yeah.
So it's not, I don't know, it depends. How Shakespearean is the poetry?
A little.
Is it just it's got a lot of very fancy use of language to disguise some really emo-ass fucking poetry?
No. And then some guy tries comedy. And then it's your turn.
You want me to actually perform something, or should
I
just leave it
mean,
at-
if you have an act in mind, you can just tell me what the act is.
I have a short story that I could tell.
Yeah, fine. Yeah. Well, we're not gonna do. We can just roll and say. I mean, that could be amusing to do the whole little act, but I don't think. I mean, unless you really want to do it, I won't stop you.
Fuck it. So I'm gonna have to basically make changes to reflect the fact that so this is a story you would tell, in a general setting. I have to make it fantasy-esque, befitting of the fucking of the setting. But so I go on stage and I'm like, so a northern mother visits her son for dinner, who lives with his betrothed at a castle just to the south. And during this dinner, mother couldn't help but notice how pretty his betrothed was, and she had long been suspicious of that relationship between the two, even before they'd even become betrothed. But over the course of the evening, while watching the two interact, she started to wonder if there was something going on between him and one of the servants. Now, this person's son, this mother's son, was kind of reading into these thoughts and volunteered essentially well, asked, you know, like, what were you thinking and whatnot. But after like about a week, he had noticed that some things had been missing in around the castle, and sent his mother a letter. And essentially, the letter said this. Basically, Dear Mom, after you visited me, the silver plates in my castle have gone missing. Now, I'm not saying that you did not take the silver plate from my castle, and I'm not saying that you don't take it, but the fact remains that it's been missing ever since you were here for dinner. Love, your son. Several days later, he got another letter back. Dear son, I'm not saying that you do sleep with your servant, and I'm also not saying that you don't sleep with your servant. But the fact remains that if she were sleeping in her own bed, you would have found that silver plate by now under her pillow. There's my glorious short story.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, you know, it's very awkward to like change shit in my head as I'm trying to tell that.
Yeah, give a good old hearty act.
My character laughs regardless.
See, yeah, that's more than fine. Like the whole theater, like it's like yeah, and give you like a hearty applause, and there's a hearty chuckle. They're impressed, quite impressed.
It's decently adequate.
Indeed. In fact, as it is kind of like an open night, you do get each actor gets like this tip jar.
If I actually made money off that, I'd be surprised.
You made all of 8 copper pieces. You know what? I'll give you an extra D8 since you rolled so good.
Ladies and gentlemen, dinner.
Yeah, that's about the money that you can buy a single meal with. All of 15 copper pieces.
Mama. If you're an actual mama, it would be a D6 of silver with an extra thing. What is it again?
Oh, that's an actual money amount that you get?
Yeah, but it's a feat.
Yeah, if you have the quality mummer, if you perform acts of like poetry or art, you can get silver.
Yeah, you get 1d6 of 1d6 silver stags and an additional silver stag per degree of success.
Well, will anybody complain if I give him the 15 copper pieces?
No, not really.
Nope.
I had to remember this fucking short story, and then I had to sit there and take what little memory I have.
I mean,
of it
that is
and
a
alter
lot
it.
of effort that you went through. So,
Yeah, I had to sit there and mentally remember, because here's the thing, it involves emails. So I'm having to sit there and mentally change shit about a story I can barely remember in my fucking head as I'm
And you
doing
did
this.
it justice because I've heard the story before.
Yeah, it's fucking hard to do that, as I found out.
but, so yeah, you guys still spend your
It's
day-
reminded me of when I was in fucking high school and I had to do a speech where I was supposed to like, we were supposed to convince people like to consider doing something like over a topic, the Warcraft. So I had to sit there and explain the fucking the whole war between the Lich King and the fucking and everyone. But I had to do it while I was eating a habanero. That's very fucking hard to do.
I remember that story as well.
It's agony.
Anyways, we'll finally transfer over to Nora and Arthur. As I said, the midday bell finally rings after a few hours. Which, like I said, the theater crew can also hear. which signals the landsmeet is about to continue.
Yep. Rush off to go do that.
Okay. Anybody else? The theater crew, or are you gonna stick around and watch the next play?
Oh, before that, was there someone who could make a saddle for a dog of massive proportions?
God damn it, that
Remember-
massive girth.
Remember, we are only here for less than a week.
Yeah, very well, my lady.
Well, I just don't want you to. I don't want you to
Yeah.
find someone who can make it and then have to get it. Have to come all the way here and then all the way back just to pick it up.
Very well, my lady. Out of character, why does does a lady even mind that Arthur always refers to as my lady?
No, that's what you're supposed to do.
Indeed.
My lady, there was a merchant who said that her friends would be setting up a market for odd things, and she told me that one of them may have something similar to what I'm looking for.
Well, once you've escorted me to the landsmeet, you can go and have a look.
Isn't it my job to guard you, my lady?
Technically, it's all of your job, but I'm not going to stop you all from having some fun.
Very well, my lady. Shall we go?
Yeah.
Yeah. You travel to the... As I put you on the map already. The hall seems to be prepared with this time there's not exactly a feast, but there's like a small ledger of your your house information mostly, and
there's got to be snacks and nibblies.
yeah, and
There are
small
always
snacks
and nibblies.
and drinks mostly, but there's not an entire feast in front of you this time. He's gonna be sitting over there. And Eamon is not here. Let's see. Well, we don't need the tokens actually.
This is true.
So people are entering in and sitting down, and you sit down by your table, and you see, what was his name of House Winth? Weiler of House Winth, your current Liege Lord. And he greets you.
Yep, greet him back.
The hall seems to be a little bit more full this time around. There's still some houses missing, but everybody gathers around and starts doing some minor squabbling bit with each other. Do you wish to go up and look around a little, or shall you just wait till...
Yeah, I'll wait.
Alright. You wait around a little till the Maester starts up the evening, the landsmeet again by pretty much like yesterday saying, welcome back. Well, this time he says welcome back. Last time he said welcome to everybody.
Yeah.
Today's session will commence in as soon as the Lord will arrive. we have received a new batch of fine wine from across the land, so please do taste it. And here comes our gracious host as the old, weak Tully was again being escorted by some helpers. Let's just put it like that. And he sits down and greets everybody. He seems to be what's the actually never mind, that doesn't happen yet. Just looking at this book here. Alright, yeah, that's what happens. I need to open up his
Who is it?
thingamabob. So he is doing his best to stand up, and he's like, well, as I have gotten older, I've seen this land suffer through many crises and many incidents. As we are here to discuss in the land's mid many things of importance. Now, as the first night is going to be the matters of the minor houses and landed houses. Now, who is the first house to come up and display their case? Which, like one of the minor houses, well, landed houses in this case, because it would go in order, and landed houses are usually the lowest on the totem pole. Let me just really quickly find like a small landed house. Did I even have any? Oh, yeah. There we go. You see like a house with a sigil of its arms is like a black pitchfork on a golden bar of sinister on rosette. And they present their case and they're like, my lord, our lands were pillaged by dangerous wolves. And the lord gives like a quick response. Well, actually he wouldn't give the response, like, well, either the maester or the, like, would it be like a commander of the Night's Watch or something? Not the Night's Watch, but the knight in command would give the response, and they command like a small detachment of guards to go and take care of those wolves. And next up, I always forget which ones were the landed houses. God damn it. Give me just a few minutes here. It doesn't matter, but one of the other minor landed houses goes up and displays their case. and a couple of others come by, and eventually they go into the minor house, and here's if you want to bring something up, they do call up your house.
Nope.
Yeah, you just politely decline.
Yeah.
They nod to you and says, yeah, good. And so they then come by the other minor houses. They go by and each have their little complaint or something like a lands dispute or such going on in their lands. I won't go through all of them, but there's different things going on with pretty much everybody. There's like bandits at one minor house's lands. There's like a small knights that abandoned their post, and they want them to be brought to justice because they completely abandoned their duty. And the Landsmeet Day 2 pretty much goes mostly uneventful unless you want to do something till the last toast.
Arthur's gonna go sign up for the tournament.
Okay, you just leave the Landsmeet.
He's gonna do that and see if he can find that person that lady's friend who he was talking to at the inn.
Okay. So you exit the Landsmeet. They do let you go because it is a free open hall. But so you exit there. And finally time comes for like the last toast of the day. And the Lord Host Tullius, well, the murder's cases have been settled. Now, let us toast you. The day being concluded. And everybody in that room does like a cheery toast. I assume that you do the same.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah. The only thing Nora would do, like at the end of the day, would be she would try and get, if he's here, obviously, try and get Edmir's attention and get him to escort her back to the tavern.
He's also at the main table and toasting like a train. But I love that this don't give the description, but Tully Lord Holster Tully goes for the drink. He downs the drink and it starts. Everybody starts like packing in until you see like over there the Lord Hustle Tully over there at the main table starting to struggle a little, like getting up. The helpers come by and try to help him, and he's like waving around, and he's like having more trouble standing up than he was having previously.
What would it be?
And he starts like holding his throat and just like, and he starts like struggling, and he just falls hard to the ground. And
looking at him before he falls, what would it be to go? Oh, is he choking, or is he or is this poison? I think this could be knowledge education.
that could be knowledge, yeah.
Would it be education or?
I believe it might fall under to know if he's joking or I mean that's not too hard to know. Which would it be?
Oh no! Wait, this would be healing diagnosis, wouldn't it?
That's if you're diagnosing what's happening exactly, but figuring out if it's
this is more. This is more. Okay, is his face just turning purple, or is it? No, he's been poisoned. Okay.
Yeah, this would be more in general. I would say like the DC would still be like it's not exactly hard to figure out if somebody's been poisoned, but I would say the DC would be like a 9.
Okay.
Maybe
is
12.
It education or knowledge?
I'm gonna say knowledge. It's more in general.
An 11! Hooray!
Yeah, from this distance, you haven't seen it yourself, but you have read more than enough books to know that, that's not food poisoning, that's not choking, the man's being poisoned with something.
So the moment I realized that, I scream him, Lord Host has been English. I can't. Lord Host has been poisoned, and just points in his general direction, doing the over-dramatic, ladylike thing.
Oh
and,
yeah,
what a time to be poisoned when the healer's not there to fix it.
I have healing 3. It's like
I have,
but that's no way near enough.
If I diagnose, I have healing of 6.
But we're too busy watching a play.
I am indeed too busy watching a play.
Is Edmure near me?
Oh, he's next to his over here, next to his head, and he's like, "Oh, somebody help!"
So I would assume I'm like
the
here by now.
Yeah, the guards are like holding you back a little, but they're like, the guards are like, step back. And everybody is just in panic and coming and running up to the like little podium here, and they're like, "What's going on? What's going on?"
Where's Arthur in this?
Already left.
Remember?
Oh yeah.
This is why you never.
See, the only reason I was heading up there is because you'd left, so I was going to use that momentum to go, okay, I'm going to get Edmure to escort me home, but now, oh no, Lord Host is being poisoned, oh great, and I realize this.
Yeah, the knights are like, the commander there of the knights are like, everybody exit the room, everybody.
I would like to
into the courtyard.
I stand between. I try and get between the guards and noblemen, and I'm going to try and charm them down. Like, actually, no, this would be convincing, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would be convincing because they're panicking. They don't know.
Yeah, I'm going to try and convince them to go. Oh, the maester's here. Don't worry. Hurry, there's nothing we can really do right now, and to calm down and leave. So, I go there, basically, and I'm going to say that, and I'm going to roll persuasion, and just going to check and see if I have any other bonuses.
It would be a convince.
I know I have... Okay, I have attractive. That's the only thing I can add to this. So I get to re-roll my 1s.
Neat.
Equal to my half my persuasion score. So persuasion 25 1 /
The guards that are panicking, even the commander who's a little bit more sensible is like, you know what, she's speaking
30.
sense.
She speaks
So
the
that's
truth.
that's a 30 persuasion that I just threw to convince them to all calm down
Jesus.
and let the maester do his work.
She
As
speaks the truth.
as you do see the everybody like calm down, and they're like, you know what, they're right, help the lord to his bedchambers. And you see a few of the knights turn back and carry him off. As you do notice Edmure following him because
Yeah, it makes sense.
it's his family.
I am smart enough to know. Okay, I could try and follow them, but I'm not going to because I'm actually
Yeah.
going to walk with Lord Went.
Yeah, he's like, what happened?
Well, by the looks of it, he drank something and then began to choke on some poison of some kind. As I said, I do read a fair bit. I'm not well versed with poisons, or healing for that matter, but I'm smart enough to identify when someone has been.
If it's poison, he looks around the room and looks at the other noble houses that are near you. It's like,
Poisoning him doesn't really change anything. It would just put Edmure on the. It would just make Edmure the head of the house at this point.
yes, we ought to be careful though. He's like visibly worried, and he's worried about that.
So, okay, so she goes, the better question isn't who was there, it was who wasn't there.
He like nods, and
If you knew that Lord Hoster was going to be poisoned, would you want to be in the room where he was poisoned?
you have a point.
There is one particular house that I am very intrigued aren't here. I assume House Frey isn't here yet as well.
Nope.
Still.
There's a couple of houses that, like I said, are missing. There's
So-
like their sigils, but they're completely missing. There seems to be total of 5 houses missing currently.
So she says, I know Lord
No,
Walder.
6.
I know Lord Walder can be a bit tardy, but this is more than being late. This is being absent altogether.
He knows it's definitely suspicious, but
Walder would, and usually, so I've heard, Lord Frey would take any opportunity to complain or have one of his minor one of his banner houses complain in his stead for him. You'd think he'd be he'd be wanting to be here more than anyone else to get himself more land and get more land for his banner houses. But that's not my place to decide
that
on
is
who is
gonna
guilty
be for
or not.
another day, but it seems the day is gonna be called off today. The Landsmith is gonna be called off for today.
For today, it might not. It might be even longer, depending on how well Lord Holster manages.
In fact, the commander is like, after like everybody is, they're like, they tell them to leave, but don't leave the town. Because at this point...
leave the castle, don't leave River Run.
Yeah, at this point, everybody's a suspect, honestly, to them.
Yeah, anyway, most likely what happens now is Lord Went and Nora just head back to the inn.
Yeah, you two leave back. Head back to the inn. They do let you, like I said. But you see that as you exit, everybody is like just completely devastated. They knew that he was sick. Some of them like are talking, is it his illness? You hear them over say one of the conversations going on.
Actually, is there a way I could send a message? Like, send a raven?
I mean, yeah, you could ask the maester. That's one way.
I'll
There's not exactly like FedEx back there.
I will, when I can see the maester, I would ask to,
Oh, you're not gonna see him right now because he's back at the...
Oh yeah, like, I'm willing to, like... Do they say we have to leave the castle completely, or just the room?
Just like the hall.
Yeah, okay, so I go to one of, like, the servants or the guards or something.
I mean, I would assume that the maester has, like, maybe not an apprentice, but something like that could take,
an
like...
assistant.
Yeah. That could take your message.
Because I can write out the message, and I write down the following thing. The old fish has swum into putrid waters. Which is code for Holster's been fucking is very unwell. Which, if that gets to my father, he'd be like, I think I might need to come here.
Yeah, maybe.
This land's meet has become more eventful than I was expecting.
Just a little.
Yeah. She's wanting to she's trying to code it. So I think that'd be cunning logic.
I believe so.
Yeah, cunning logic is to decipher them, but it would also be to encode them. At least that makes sense, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
here's my cunning roll. 25 again. I'm good at logic. And
You might have done it way too hard, but yeah.
That if that's
Damn you and your logic.
So that 25, if anyone wants to decipher it, they would have to roll higher than a 25.
We have a
You made it
guest
too hard
character
for you,
again.
Potter.
It's a pork. Anyways, you see a lot of people go back to their camps and resting quarters, and
I return into mine as well. Do I run into any of my fellow players?
well, in fact, let's transition over to them, because that would have taken a whole ass day, pretty much, the Landsmeet, because it was each house coming up and doing this whole, oh, woe is me, please help me. Well, some of them didn't, but pretty much give a report about their lands and what's going on. Which can be
that's
quite
probably all
boring.
That's probably all I did was say that we're rebuilding after the war, everything's going well.
Yeah, it's literally like a general report of like, alright, house, blah blah blah, step up. And then you step up and it's like, yeah, about that land, yeah, this is what happened recently, this is what's going now.
Yeah, it's probably literally a handwritten note from my father that's just, he says, read this. And then I read it off, whatever, yeah. So, what do the others do?
So, yeah, that's a good question. We go back to midday as, actually first, we can see what's Arthur going to do. So, Arthur, you go to the stable masters, I believe? Okay. Never mind, Arthur's not there. Okay, well, Eamon, Dagon, and Karn, you're at the play.
How about the
Yep.
plane?
You're at the play.
Oh, play. I thought you said plane. I was like, what?
So, you watch the midday play. It's a little bit more serious, like I said, than the comedy show at the start. The actors are not exactly well trained, but you respect them for going out there and giving their best.
They're given the best performance they can provide,
Yeah.
despite their obvious lackings.
Then, during the evening, you guys watch the tragedy of, what was his name? Oris the First. And it's actually a really good play, like, you're finally feeling like you got your money's worth. Like, the actors for this are like actual, like, trained professionals, it feels like.
That's good.
And finally, as the night is approaching, including Nora can hear them. Actually, no, that wouldn't happen yet. But as the night goes on, you guys stay for the opera too, or not?
No, I'm gonna getting up and saying to Eamon that I've had enough. This is fantastic work, but opera is not my forte.
Yeah, it's the quiet.
Yeah, I'm not gonna.
I mean,
Not my taste either.
if you were gonna stick around, it was gonna be amazing since I rolled a 10 on a chance die.
I think that it's,
Opera's not an acquired taste, but I did pay for this, so I'm going to at least finish this, give my full report. This was worth the silver.
Because if you would have exited the theater and come back, that would have been another ticket, by the way.
I'm going to exit and walk among the common folk and see what their issues are, and see if I can do anything to fix them.
Well,
And Khan would be heading back towards the tavern.
it's
he
the
wants a
night,
drink.
so some people are.
Hours along, my lord!
It's the evening, so people are going to their homes, really. That's about it, so there's not exactly anybody in trouble. I mean, aside from like a drunkard or two, but there's no help in alcoholics. I mean, unless you really want to try and do something for the guy.
Well, I mean,
who's-
like, if anybody's got a leaky roof or anything, I can go hammer in a nail, you know?
You know, let's see. Does anybody have trouble like that?
What do you mean there's no helping alcoholics, Marcus? You can help them easily. You give them more alcohol.
Da-da-da! I'm a hero.
Yay, we're enabling.
Sure, yeah. You kind of go around the town and, eventually you find some poor sap who's having a little bit of trouble with their life. And you decide to help him out. And they do appreciate it, even though they can't pay really. But at least you
I'm
get
not looking for a reward. Helping them is its own reward.
But at least you get a good old thank you for them. From them. And eventually the time passes to night as everybody goes back to the inn.
Khan immediately head towards the bar area and orders ale.
Yeah.
I'm probably waiting near the bar for them.
Because you
Alright,
know I'll be
I'm
going to the
probably-
bar first.
Yeah, I'm probably like leaning against the bar, not leaning against it, but standing near the bar. And then the moment I see all of you, I walk up.
Oh, I
to
headed
you
back
and
early.
Well, yeah, I walk up to you and say, hey, get your drink. We have important matters to talk about.
I get my drink and go.
Go
I guess
up.
wherever we're going to be talking.
Yeah, go up to your room. I'll join you once the others get here.
And then
As soon as I get my
saunter
drink, I go up to my room.
And then I just repeat the same process when everyone gets here, and I tell them to head up to... Who was the first to arrive?
Khan.
Yeah, I tell them to head up to Khan's room.
Very well.
Yeah. So once we're all there and we're all in Khan's room, I go, so, the Lands meet became very eventful near the end.
Oh.
Where's
Lord wants to
Arthur
tell-
in this situation?
I mean, I was asking you, but you didn't respond. But this is a good question. What are you doing?
Well, he went to the market to find the person, and they probably went back to the inn.
Let's see. Do you find her or not? You do. So you were gonna ask her about the saddle? For the dire wolf, right?
Yep.
Let me see. Not a chance die. And she goes, "Ah yes, your saddle. I did manage to find somebody who can provide one, but it's gonna take a while to arrive here in the town."
Along.
It's quite a while, unfortunately. More than a week at least.
I'm only in town for a week. Is there a way I could pay you to have it sent to where I live?
Oh, that will be no trouble. Just give the details where the shipment will be sent, and
Arthur says, okay, how much will it cost?
how much would like a normal saddle cost? Is there a price in the book?
There is.
Barding, right?
Barding is
With armor.
Armor. Okay, is
So
that like an
case he
actual
was-
saddle price?
I don't think there is one.
Sachet? Bro,
Saddlebags is one silver star. Or sorry, stag.
Saddle bag, eh? Well, that's a bag for the sides. Yeah, that doesn't exactly help us.
I'd say like 50 silvers because it's a specialty item.
I mean, yeah, we can say 50 silver.
The Arthur says, "I'll give you half," and he pulls out 25 silver and half when you deliver it.
I believe that might be actually you're trying to intrigue the price down.
No, he said I'll pay 50 silver, and he says I'll pay the full price, but I'll give you half when he half.
Oh,
Half
half now and half later.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah, I understand that. I wanna pay 25 for the 50.
yeah. And then Arthur's
Because-
gonna head back to the inn.
Yeah, that's a fair deal, honestly. Half now and half later. That's actually how they usually go. But you give them the house location and the name that it's gonna be delivered to,
Yep.
and it's gonna be a little while, but eventually you will get it.
Okay.
So yeah, just reduce 25 silver for now, and whenever you get back after a little while of traveling, you're gonna have it. Now then, yeah, after that, the day passes along, and eventually when you go back to the inn, and you get the message that meet at Karn's room, I believe it was.
how
Yeah,
was
once-
the opera?
Actually, really good. Like, if I were to give you like a temporary bonus, like in like Diddy or something like that, you would get like a small bonus of to your rolls. But to say it was quite excellent.
So,
But yeah, eventually returned to the inn.
Yeah,
See
it's,
like the little was it a note was left saying go to, was it Karn? You said
No,
Yeah.
she's standing down there telling you to go to Karn.
yeah,
Oh.
basically she stands down the bottom and waits for everyone to get there, and then once everyone, like, once the last of you has arrived, she goes up with you and she sits everyone and down and goes, "Okay, do you want the good news or the bad news?"
You
I
know
found
what?
a saddle
I
for
saw an
Squire.
amazing play today and an operatic performance. Give me the bad news. I want to see if it can bring my whole mood down.
Lord Holster Tully has been poisoned.
That. Okay, you have succeeded. 1 second.
Bok bok. Bok bok bok.
but
So, yes, what's everyone's reaction to Nora telling you that Liege Lord has been poisoned?
Eyes wide open.
Probably was the
Un-
phrase.
Shocked.
And what is the good news?
Well, the
My
Landsmeet
dog
went well up until that
Absolutely
point.
lost his shit, and I was thinking like, oh, is The landlord here so I can give him his money. I was wrong. My dog was just barking at the fucking mailman.
It's the mailman! Bark! Bark, 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 bark. Bark. Anyway, yeah, she goes, but the good news, the landsmeet went well up until the point that the liege lord started choking on poison.
Does anybody know what
But
type
I-
of poison?
No, I wasn't close enough. The maester's taken care of him, hopefully by now.
If you can get me glasses and some of the wine, I could probably have Squire sniff it out.
You
Yes,
could,
but that would just tell us what the poison was, not who.
Squire's a trained bloodhound. Well, wolf.
Yes, but the issue is, it was held by Lord Holster. It was next to Lord Holster the entire time.
pour the wine.
Well,
And-
that's the thing. It might. We don't know, and it also might not have been.
You didn't see, You didn't see...
No, I was on the other side of the room.
Oh, that's
I
unfortunate.
only know he was. I only know he was choking because I was walking up there to talk to Edmure.
What did
Get
he
him
look
to
like?
ask-
Like,
That's a good question. What did he look like?
Taller?
Yeah, when he was choking and such. Do you want me to roll a memory to describe it?
So first, like his, like how you would describe him was like his, like all of his like strength started to fail first. Like he started to sweat a little, he started to choke a little, and then he's like, like his strength just completely failed. And he fall to the ground.
Mm-hmm.
That's literally the best way to say it.
based
Really.
on what kind of physical description I got, I'm gonna see if I can't try and figure out what that could be.
Maybe. Oh, that's free ones. Luckily, they're all not counted.
I mean,
Yeah.
you have heard of many poisons, but you would literally have to take a closer diagnosis to
Yeah.
place your finger on it.
I need to see him.
Well,
But
Here's
that's
the
gonna
thing.
be hard because somebody just tried to assassinate him.
yes, like I've sent a letter to my father with an encoded message and giving him the information that I know. At this point, all we can do is sit around and wait until tomorrow. I suggest we all get an early night's sleep and be ready for anything tomorrow.
Probably for the best.
Well, I'm going to head off and have a hopefully peaceful night's sleep.
Yeah, well, for you, since you saw a horrible death, pretty much, I'm not quite sure how your character
She doesn't
is
know
to.
if he's.
Well,
She doesn't know if he's
being
dead yet.
poisoned, that's still a horrifying sight, really. So you might have a little bit of trouble sleeping because I'm not quite sure how used to your character would be to something like that.
She did grow up during a very She did grow up in a very not peaceful time. She also happened to like they live basically where the Battle of the Trident was, so
But
I would assume that she probably she would be affected by it, but not too much.
Yeah.
So,
Well, all of you managed to go to sleep with this new information in your head. And you
Yeah.
wake up in the morning.
Question: While I'm sleeping, can I warg into my animal
Sure. I
and
believe
try
you
try
can.
and investigate?
I've got a question. How are you going to get up to the castle?
It's a dire wolf. It can do lots of things.
It's a direwolf. It might get attacked and killed.
I'm rolling a stealth check. 19. Is it seen? Is Squire seen?
Well, let's see. You go up to the castle. It would be guarded by some knights, more likely. Actually, a couple of cards first. Let's see. Do you get past the cards? I'm gonna just roll a couple. Well, you managed to get past the cards. At least. Let's see if you get past the knights.
So what? Who's being a sneaky beaky and why?
The doggy.
The doggy has been walked into and is trying to stealth into the castle to do some investigating.
Well,
I
he's
know,
not-
I know. I suggested against it, but
Hey, it's working so far.
Does he? He's not. So.
Let's see, what's the knight's awareness? Okay, the knights literally can't spot it. So, Squire, I believe its name, is
Yep.
manages to. Where do you exactly sneak up?
Yeah, he's just sneaking like and listening around the castle.
Alright, it's like walking around during the dead of night. There's not exactly anybody except the guards walking about.
Can I get into the main hall?
Let me see if the door is closed or not. It would be closed, but not locked, so I believe a direwolf could open a door like that. I mean, it's a heavy double door, but if it pushes hard enough, I believe it could be opened.
Do you want me to give you a strength?
Nah, I don't think so. I mean, my dog can open my fucking door with headbutting it.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna open the door and go over to where the wine was and smell it.
Yeah. Squire goes up to the the area up here, and there would be more than likely, since he all of a sudden fall to the ground. The cup would have been picked up already and been investigated, but on the rug, I would imagine that there's a little bit of wine left.
Do you want me to roll survival track to see if I can pick up a scent of poison?
Sure. I mean, that's survival straight up, I would believe, but yeah, go ahead.
No specialties, track, hunt.
Nah, I don't believe it would really fit anything, because track would be following a trail, and this is not exactly a trail. Hunt
Okay.
doesn't. I mean, that
Hunting.
would be the closest, but not exactly.
Okay.
I mean, have you used like poisons in hunting? I mean, that's the closest thing.
No, hunt is also to like pick up a trail, and so is tracked.
Yeah, it's more
yes,
for
but
trails
this
and
would
stuff.
probably be-
Okay.
I mean, I would say this would be actually almost like awareness to like smell
Yeah, I
it.
was gonna suggest.
Okay, so I can reroll this awareness.
Yeah.
It would probably be awareness notice.
Awareness,
Okay.
no, this is a good one. Which,
Okay.
yeah.
17.
Yeah, as you're walking through the dire wolf's body, yeah, this smells like straight up poison to you. Like, you can't tell what kind of a poison it is, but just from the smell of it, since you rolled pretty good, it's a strong one.
Could I try and follow the scent of the poison?
I mean, the closest thing would be the cup that the wine was holding, so you could follow up to the cup. But since the wine was kind of delivered here from another location, I don't see that the scent would be... I mean, you did roll pretty well, so the scent, I would say that scent is really faint in this case. But you would be able to start follow it.
So survival.
Track.
14. Okay, there's something wrong. It should be rolling 4. I don't know why it's rolling.
So, yeah.
It should be rolling 5.
You follow the scent till you reach like the kitchen area, and there's like a couple of cooks there still like up and discussing. I don't believe they can also spot you. Let's see. Let's say there's a servant. Yeah, no, they don't stand a chance against the wolf. And finally, one more card at the.
Sorry, but
Ooh,
sorry about my dog.
Just freaking spot your doggy? No.
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 Yeah. You go to the kitchen and you go through. Avoid the cooks. You work through the corners until you like go up to the like wine basement, and that's the one last card. You think for a second that you were spotted, but as a classic Skyrim trope, he just goes, must have been the wind.
Okay, do I find where the poison came from? The source?
And you walk down, and let me bring up the little map here. You go up into the wine basement. I'm just gonna say that because I'm having trouble saying the cellar now. And you follow up the scent to one of the barrels, which is meant for the main host. Pretty much, it's his like personal barrel of wine. This music's just really distracting, so I'm just gonna put something else.
And then what?
Well, are you gonna do something? You look at the barrel, there's some wine to you, which smells like the same poison that you just smelled.
Can I inspect the barrel for markings?
Sure. What are you like looking for?
Like makers or where the barrel came from?
Yeah, sure. You can take a look at it. It's little hard to tell, but you can tell that this is quite recently delivered. Here, it's quite a recently opened barrel. There's markings of the Tully's household sigil, so you know that it's meant for them and nobody else.
Hmm. Can I try and pick up anybody's scent who's on the barrel?
Give me another awareness notice. Actually, this wouldn't be notice, would be? Or is
This
notice...
would be tracking.
Yeah, this would be tracking.
26.
Well, here's the downside and the good side. You do pick up a scent, but the problem is a lot of servants have picked up this barrel to pour drinks. So the people who have handled this barrel is quite numerous. I would say like at least you pick up like 46 cents.
And
And
you know, they don't really explain how Warging Rocks might controlling them. I guess I'm just kind of.
you would be controlling it most for the most
Yeah,
part.
I just in the books I assume that he's just like taking the main consciousness, but Squire's consciousness is kind of just in the background.
Yeah, something like that.
So Arthur's was like, okay. He's gonna like put his palm and says like, okay, well this is probably all the knowledge I can glean. And he sneaks out of the castle. Do you want me to roll another sneak check?
I don't think the cards can spot you unless I roll 4 6s, so don't bother.
And unless he re-rolls it and he rolls bad.
I mean,
That is a possibility.
that is a possibility if I'm gonna be a dick. Sure, go ahead and roll me another sneak. I mean, it is a knight, so
17.
he would have an
7.
extra re-roll, actually. So go ahead and re-roll one of
There
those
is-
ones.
Why would he get to re-roll one of those ones?
It's a knight, you get a situational bonus.
Ah, okay. That would just mean
5.
That would mean an extra bonus dice. So
5, so that's
Well, that's fine. That's
that
extra dice
that
in that
means-
case.
if it's a bonus dice, then it would be still +4.
Yeah,
So-
it
so
would be still a
21.
lot.
So that means no one here can catch you.
Yeah, no, nobody. Like, there's no knights of quality here, and even they can't spot you. I don't believe so.
Okay, Arthur's gonna sneak
nope.
back to where he was sleeping, and then like, before he gets out of Squire's mind, he says, "Good boy, good." He's gonna send him a good boy message. Good boy.
But
And then Arthur's gonna go to bed. Well, technically he's sleeping while he's doing this. So, but he's in a trance mode.
And after that, everybody wakes up and goes downstairs to kind of eerie silence.
Arthur's going to go, well, I was sneaking around the castle last night.
You were what?
I mean,
Just
he's
like
a-
instantly covers his mouth and just goes, 1. Don't talk about that out loud.
he wasn't saying it, he was saying it in a hushed tone.
Yeah,
We should go to a private room. I found some stuff out.
Yes, that's all good and well, but it's utterly fucking useless for us because if we are at all thought to have been in that castle at night, that makes us look really bad.
No one saw me.
Yes, but if see you telling us information, or telling anyone information is useless because if they think we know things that we shouldn't know, then they're going to suspect us of being the people who poisoned him.
Good point. Do you want me? Do you want to go to a private room and me to explain what I saw, what I found?
Khan goes
Doesn't matter.
to the bar and orders a drink again.
I'm. You know what? I'm not in the mood right now. You can tell the others. I'm gonna go get a drink.
Arthur asked the others to go to a private room with him. What do you do?
Of course. But I think we should get some breakfast in us before we
Yeah, that's
deal
probably a good
with
idea.
any of this
Let's see.
atrociousness.
Breakfast. Number one being served is good old vegetable stew. The second would be rye biscuits and curd cheese. And the third breakfast would be milk bread and soft cheese.
I'll have number
Vegetable
3.
stew.
Rye bread.
Milk, bread, and cheese.
Not bread, rye biscuits and curd cheese is number 2.
And Khan also orders an ale with his breakfast.
And they do have a mug of perry or a mug of cider if you want, or a mug of mead.
I will ask for some wine.
I'll have the mead.
Yeah, we're just gonna go with the 2 copper for a glass of wine, because that's a fair price.
Okay.
Well, wine costs something at least. Ale might be included with the room's price, long as you don't over order.
Probably like one mug a day,
Yeah,
or
something.
one mug at a meal. No.
So, as you eat your breakfast, the landsmeet bell rings, oddly enough.
She's half finished her wine, and she just goes and puts it down and then heads off.
Khan chugs the rest of his drink and follows after.
And
Cousin?
I guess we won't be discussing this. As
Should
as
I
well.
go retrieve Arthur, Squire, so we can
No.
know it? No, but then we could find Arthur. Arthur goes to puts on his armor and goes. Yeah, let's go.
Khan's already following.
Yep,
Yeah,
I am. I'm
Khan's
with.
fine. Yeah, I would assume everyone's going with.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you
Seems like
all
the ideal
travel
place.
through the castle, letting you in, and at the end of the table this time is well, you don't see any of the Tullys, not even like any of their cousins or anything like that, but you see Mr. Weeman and everybody else of the noble houses. Yeah, even some of the missing 6 have arrived. Well, 2 of them so far.
Who are the 2 that have arrived?
You notice like this arms of white seabirds strewn on a blue field. You're not quite sure what house that is. It's
It would be status heraldry for that. Instead of
Heraldry is not a thing. It'd be breeding, reputation, or tournaments.
Yeah, so it would be breeding then. Okay, just straight up status for me. 11.
so the 2 of you, because I believe 9 would be enough, recognize this as House Havoc, which I will reveal to you now. And you know some lore about them with those roles. You know that they command the small keep overlooking the town of Salt Pans. They have connections to House Frey through the marriage of Belena Havoc to Sir Hostine Frey.
Okay. One of the Frey, one of the, as she puts it, one of the Frey's many houses are here.
And you notice the other house, which is arms of a black toad on a white lily pad on green, called House Whipren.
What do we know about them?
House Whipren, a little bit of lore, is a minor house of the Riverlands with ties to, again, House Frey. The head of their house is a Lord Lucius Whipren, who is married to Lady Lithine of House Frey. They have 2 children, Lady Eliana, who is married to the Wilders, and Sir Damon Whipren, heir of the household, which I will reveal now in the House Whipren section, so you can go look at and read them through later. Or read them through right now, if you want.
Do it later.
But the short version is, it's another house with a small connection to Freys, oddly enough. Oh yeah, House Root doesn't exist anymore in this universe. But Mr. Women welcomes everybody. Oh, well, welcome. It's pleased to see that all of you came. Unfortunately, I have grave news. Our Lord's condition has gone to a critical state. We don't expect him to survive the night. There's not much I can do for him except make his condition a little bit more comfortable.
Is there any chance that we can seek another healer?
Yes, I know a very good healer.
Unfortunately, I do not believe we have time to search another healer. And we'd much rather not. We would prefer if no stranger would come at this harrowing time.
Who's our healer in the group?
Yo, it's me.
I need a name, not a yo.
Amen.
Okay, so Nora stands up and says, there isn't. So she leans over to Edmund and goes, do you believe you can heal him or not?
I need to see his condition. I need to know exactly what kind of poison I'm dealing with.
Okay, I trust you. And Nora stands up and goes, my cousin might be able to heal him. All he needs is some time to diagnose what's wrong with him. And when she's saying this, she isn't looking at the Maester. She's looking directly at Edmure.
God, by the way, he's literally at the bedside.
He's with his father.
Yeah, like I said, there's no Tullis at the table.
So you're looking at the Maester instead.
There
Okay,
might be
just the
like
Maester.
some long distant cousin. So will Tully know. You know, he's not here.
Did you say Samwell Tully?
Tali.
Harley? Of a completely different fucking house.
I know, I was fucking joking.
No, I thought you fucking said Samwell fucking Tully. I was like, what? Who the fuck is
I
this?
did say that, but I say that fucking
He's so
jokingly.
disowned in this fucking version of the Game of Thrones that he's been adopted by another family.
Bye!
Still
Okay.
better than being sent to the wall.
We'll take you in, you fat bastard.
No, you see, Tyrion Lannister will come. No.
And he just fucking sasses me the whole way down the hallway to fix him.
So what's the Maester's reaction?
It's like, that is kind to you to offer, but you understand if our current situation, don't you? As he's looking at the room and everybody is still a little like on edge.
We certainly do understand the situation, but if it's as bad as you say, what actual harm can I cause by trying?
You know, this is not exactly an intrigue situation, so we won't go through the normal, like, intrigue thing.
Duel.
Yeah.
I challenge the Maester to trial by combat for
But,
the right to heal his fucking liege lord.
tell you what, there's not exactly any other healer in this room. I mean, there might be some, like the other lords, maesters here that came with them. But not really. Not that many at least. Maybe like 1, 2 at most. Because they have more important matters back at their households.
Also, it's rare that an entire family would go, so...
Yeah, there's like maybe 1 or 2 members from each.
It depends on the size of the family. Like, if I was the only heir, I wouldn't have gone. It would have just been my dad.
But,
So
yeah, I was just about to say
is he gonna-
that, what's a good, like, not charm, I mean, straight up persuasion could work. Convince, yeah, that could work.
it would be convince, but I don't have any bonus dice in convince, so it would just be a persuasion roll.
Indeed.
So persuasion,
Let's see.
and I get to re-roll one
You
of those.
do get to
ones.
re-roll your ones, so you know. Take advantage of that. Well, you beat the heroic difficulty.
So 20,
I believe
26.
I believe
Yeah,
she
the
just beat
heroic
all of
difficulty.
the...
Yeah, like, so the heroic difficulty, or basically the maximum difficulty they give you on the chart before, like, the DM can start saying, okay, well, it's difficulty 25, is 21.
Yeah, it's like heroic is 21 plus, and that's basically this is incredibly hard. It's up to the GM to
Fucking
decide.
the knowledge that, like as an example, it's a heroic 21 check to figure out the secrets of Valyrian steel.
I mean, the good thing is you're one of the houses that are least suspicious, so that also helps you.
I also did. I was also one of the people. Like I was the one who calmed everyone down, and
Yeah, you're currently sure you might be still a suspect, but
we're the same level of suspicion as anyone else here. Probably the lower. Like
he does let nods and is like, but for the time being, nobody's to leave town. like the commander said last night. So those with plans, you better stick around and until we find out what is exactly going on.
Absolute silence.
Yeah, everyone just
Yeah.
is silent, looking around the room and such. So and I'm the one who breaks the silence. So, do you wish me and my cousin to come and assist with the healing?
Yeah, they do let you come. I'm just gonna use that picture there.
Yeah. Once we get there, I'm going to do the I'm going to do the nurse thing. You know, when the nurse takes the patient's next of kin away so the doctor can work. I do that with Edmure.
Yeah, he's there among a couple of his other extended family.
Oh, they've probably sent. Oh, I've just realized something. They've probably sent sent 2 ravens off to the Eyrie and
Yeah.
Winterfell, because that's where Edmure's
Catelyn.
sisters are. Yeah, Catelyn and
Liza.
Talisa.
Well, actually, no. It would not be in the Eyrie. Liza would be in the capital, because at this point,
because
John
still the
Aaron
hand.
is the hand of the king.
Yeah,
So
he's
one would go off the King's Landing, which means that not only would John Aaron know, but Robert Baratheon would know soon after.
I'm just gonna make his picture larger. That works for a bed chamber picture, really, honestly, at the same time.
Yeah.
Because he is literally just lying in bed looking like he's about to die.
Yeah. So do your diagnosing thing, my
Okay.
dude.
But yeah, Mr. brings you up to him. Like, rest of the family does take a look at you, but they do let you in, as Mr. says. They're here to help. But here's the Lord. You can see his failing condition.
Alright. So, gonna start with the diagnosis to see if I can get a sense of what's wrong with them.
22.
Okay, what's fucking wrong with him? What has he been poisoned with?
So,
Also, out of curiosity, what is the difficulty? That's very important.
I mean, I can tell you this, you beat it.
No, I need to know the number. I actually do
Yeah.
need to know the
This
number.
one
His
would be
degrees of
very
success.
hard. 18.
Okay. So, let's do...
How much are degrees of success again? Isn't it like 4? Like every 4 over the success number, you get a degree of success.
that would grant me 1 success, if that's the case.
Yeah, you get the official success and then another one.
So, perfect.
I think it is 4, now that I'm remembering. Like, at least that's what it is when you're fighting people.
So, something like that, I believe, yeah, for...
Okay, so what was the first things first? What has he been poisoned with?
So, actually, this wouldn't have had an odor now as I'm reading it, but first as you're examining, there's no trace of, like, a color, any odor in it. Well, at least you. A direct wolf might have a different sense of smell. We can just go with that explanation. But first, as you're diagnosing him, you have no idea, but then it strikes you like, wait a minute, isn't that a poison that does exactly that? And you're like, oh fuck, this guy has been poisoned with Tears of Bliss.
Yeah, so the second I like kind of realized, like, man, he's got tears of lace poisoning.
And
Like,
you know for
a lot of
fact,
it.
there's no surviving that.
Like, a lot of it. Okay. I'm gonna be...
Success
So-
is
so-
if it's 0 through 4, it's 1, 5 through 9, it's 2, 10 to 14, it's 3, 15 plus is 4.
So yeah, like, who's in the room? Like, did any of the is, like,
Edmund,
close family
it's
stay in?
Edmund, women, Mr. Women. There's like some other hostily members that let me see if I can really
District
quickly
members.
find any name to list that could be
So-
there.
Immediately, so I turned to Maester Weiman, and I'm like, you need to check your storage for any herbs or poisons that you may have stored, because this is Tears of Lease.
He just like stares blank at you and he's like, I didn't have that. I have heard of that. But
It's,
Could I roll a knowledge check to see if I know what it is?
Yeah.
So I can react.
yeah, definitely.
Education this time.
Education. This would be an education thing, most likely.
Oh, that's all sixes. That's
Yeah,
the best possible roll.
Even you go like, wait a minute. Yeah, now that you mention it, isn't that used by assassins? And it's a really
So-
expensive, rare drug
So
that is
her eyes go wide, and
originates from the free city of Liz.
so her eyes go wide, and she what's her oh yeah, that's so yeah, she would act this way. Eh? She her eyes go wide, and then she buries her face against Edmure. Because she was already standing close to her close to him. So yeah. She does that, and she's clearly upset.
so I look to the to the Maester and to Edmure, and I'm like, okay. Normal circumstances, Tears of Lease is 100% fatal. I know one thing that might, and I really stress might work. But I need all of you to get the hell out of this room. Because this is going to be really difficult. And the last thing I need is someone breathing over my neck.
The Maester does offer up his services and is like, I can assist. I have been trained in the knowledge of the
Alright,
arts of medicine.
alright. Bring warm water. Like right now.
He does like not do the like couple of servants bring hot water. And yeah, Edmure would insist that he could he stay at his father's side because he is fiercely loyal.
I'm going to. Yeah, I was gonna try and how can I wiggle this to be charm, but I can't figure a way to do it, so I'm gonna just try and convince him to let my cousin as in work. So, and it's like it's clearly directed at Edmure, but it's also kind of like a to any other family
Yeah,
members.
to
that are here.
everybody in general.
Yeah. So, 16. I get to reroll two ones. Slash
Nice.
2d. 6. So those go up to being
18.
at the 18.
Nice.
Now he's fiercely loyal, so I could see 18 have been the difficulty.
Yeah, definitely. Well, little less. It would be like
If
his
it was
intrigue
his
defense.
wife, if it was his like wife, that would be heroic. She's not fucking leaving.
But
Yeah,
in this case, he would understand that, okay, I might come in the way. I don't know what's exactly going on.
And like she probably adds to it that the moment my cousin's finished here, you can come in. Yeah.
I mean, it does also state that he is wild and impulsive, but we can ignore those qualities for now in this situation.
Yeah, but it like also though like how to put it. That you can be impulsive in that, but still listen to someone.
Indeed. Those qualities in this situation would be completely negated by, well,
The situation.
Yeah. But everybody pretty much leaves, except like Maester, if you allow him to stay.
I'm allowing the Maester to stay.
And maybe like one servant to bring you like water.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe even 2. So yeah, they bring you some hot water in a... like their asses were on fire.
Alright. He's prepared for this fucking check. Alright. Like to note something. I have lucky.
Yep.
The sad thing is, there's no curing
And
it.
I get to use the 30, boys! Thank fuck, man. So
what are you
use
trying
the
to
30.
do?
Basically, this is an incredibly complicated medical procedure, and intermittently, as I'm doing this fucking procedure, you just hear me start fucking...
So, fun fact, like normal recovery of the Tears of Leaves. I'm just gonna post this here. It's not a huge spoiler. But you rolled a 30, so you deserve to know.
You doing this on Discord or?
Roll20.
Okay.
I will burn a destiny point for this person. I do not mind.
Yeah, I'm just warning you right now that if you're alright with that...
Yeah, I am perfectly alright with that.
Yeah, you, with that roll and burning a destiny point...
doing everything in my power, and like, you know, as you're kind of watching me do shit, like, I'm doing like, I'm getting the water prepared, we're getting like everything set up, and then we have to bring out those fucking tools for bloodletting, and as I'm doing this, you hear me fucking start saying, like Lord of Blights.
Yeah, and the Maester, I'm not gonna bother. I mean, I guess I could roll him. It's heal, right?
Like, Lord of Light, cast your light upon this man. His flame has been extinguished, restore it.
I'm just gonna use some random guy here, and I'm gonna give him a... How much a Maester would have in the, like, healing? I would say 4. And, just to give you some bonus. Well, just imagine that the maester rolled that.
Yeah.
It's just almost as
I'm
good,
too
good
good
as you
even
with
for
that.
the maester.
I mean,
Well, yeah, that
I guess I could have
that
given
10
him
points.
more bonus die, but whatever.
Yeah, but the 10 points can literally be the difference between he thought he couldn't do anything, but you could.
Yeah.
Yeah, it takes you pretty much the whole day, because even with those rolls, this is a sickness that you don't come back, like, at all.
Yeah, you don't come back from. Like, to make a note of something, what my character is doing, I'm asking the Lord of Light to take a few years off me.
Yeah, but eventually, after a long time of struggling and just praying and doing all that you can, you manage to, by some miracle, manage to stabilize him to that his breathing starts to sound like normal.
Normal for him.
Yeah, for him.
Like, he's still sick with whatever he is sick with, because that's uncurable straight up.
Yeah, that is just he will one day die.
He's
Yeah,
old.
like, here's the thing. Death is,
But
Valar
for
Morghulis,
now,
all men must die.
you know that he will live, but he's
He
probably...
will survive the tears of Lees. Old age, now there's nothing I can do about that.
Yeah.
You know what? Yeah, that's probably what you say when my character and Edmure and the family get back in.
Like,
Knowing you.
here's the thing, I have aged. Like, that shit aged me.
Roll a
How
1d...
I'll roll.
What would be a fair age to roll to age in a situation like that? A DD6? Like the book says?
I aged 11 fucking years doing that.
Fuck, how old were you?
25.
So you're now 36.
Yeah, listen...
Enjoy that.
That minimum was going to age me 6 fucking years doing that.
So
I will accept nothing less than a bare minimum of 6 years.
I mean, yeah.
So, like,
think you're now middle-aged.
I come out of that room basically to address the rest of the family, and I look rough. Like, it's been a long
During
night.
that time, could Arthur be looking around the castle, going down to the wine cellar?
Sure. I mean, then before you get into the wine cellar, one of the guards would stop you and be like, "Yeah, what's your business there?"
What? I'm investigating the poisoning of the Lord. Who has come in and out of this wine cellar, and who did you buy wine from recently?
He says, "Well, all of the servants during the feast, I've entered and exited this wine cellar."
Who's the last person you bought wine from?
That was delivery into the town, but I do not know the cellar or where it came from.
Give me a list of people who've come in and out of the wine cellar and the name of that buyer.
The card like a the funny thing is, cards can't write.
Poor guy.
He does.
He
Yes.
tries best to his abilities to help you, but he cannot provide you a list.
Arthur pulls out like a tiny like the equivalent of a notebook and says, "Just give them to me."
Yeah, he goes like catalogs all of the servants and all of the wine carriers and all of the food servants that's been down there.
Okay, thank you, my good sir. And Arthur hands him several. There you go. You've been very helpful.
Yeah, I would imagine that he lists at least like a dozen names.
Okay. Arthur is going to go. Arthur's going to go down to the wine merchants.
Okay.
I know Squire's a huge dog, but could he walk around with him or no?
In town, probably not. That would. I mean, nobody would cause you trouble for having a dire wolf, but
He just says it's a really big dog. He never says it's a dire wolf.
I know, but somebody would bound to be a recognized one. But it wouldn't cause trouble. I would imagine not in this town. Maybe if it was a different town, it could definitely cause a scene.
Yeah, basically, Arthur also has he's gotten for Squire. He has a tiny, basically a sigil of a house. Well, his of house, well, his personal sigil on it, and he just says, "Lords," he just says, "What are you out looking at, peasant?" So he goes and gets Squire, and he goes to the wine merchants.
Yeah, you go to the. I mean, there's plenty of stalls that sell like wine or ale or.
And he gives Squire a command. Okay, keep out for the scents that you recognize from the barrel.
Yeah, well. You go through the streets, well, with the Squire and going through like all of the like merchants and stuff selling their goods. There's a lot of like local brewers and go ahead and roll me the awareness just in case. Actually, this would be hunt, wouldn't? I mean track, since you're tracking the same scent.
Yep, survival track. 21.
So, for the wolf, it goes off on its own a little and is like leading you through the streets, and eventually it would come across like this foreign-looking merchant that has like this small little stall of wares.
Hello, I am Arthur Carstark of House Carstark. I've been put in charge of investigating the Lord's poisoning.
The Lord's poisoning, my good sir. Who's Lord?
Lord, the High Lord, Lord Tully. How do you not know whose castle this is?
Wait, the Lord's been poisoned?
Yes.
Dumbass. No one knew about it until you blabbed.
You notice the crowd kind of, like, all of the people kind of near you reacting?
No, never mind. No. The Lord has not been poisoned. It's been...
Oh,
I
a joke?
No, I misspoke. I meant the Lord is sick, and this man. I overstated it. The Lord is sick, and this man.
The Lord has been poisoned with illness.
Yes, that's what I meant to say. The Lord has been poisoned with illness. Is illness. I was being hyperbolic. Now, go run along. I must speak to this man.
Trapped in the hyperbolic time chamber.
My good sir, my goods are quality products.
Unless you want to hang from the gallows, I suggest we take this to a private location.
You think they do hanging?
Not after I'm done.
Sir, I am offended. I need to prove.
He points to Squire. Squire.
Menacing this man with his dog.
Bark at him. Bark.
He goes, you know, Oi, instead of the gallows, we could have you do some bear baiting. Put you in a bear pit.
Good sir, I am offended. My words are working good. I'm willing to show it's.
Well, if you continue this, I will feed you to the dog. Not another word, and we are going in private and talk about your wares.
Fine.
Arthur takes him to, he says, you're closing up shop, and we are going to the nearest inn and going...
Yeah, this wouldn't require any intrigue at this point, but he would close up shop because, yeah, who wouldn't at this point? That's quite a logical thing to do.
Arthur takes him to an inn and goes, okay. Inn says, the innkeeper, we need a private room. And he puts a silver on the table.
The innkeeper kind of strikes and points to, like, the most secluded, like, spot. I mean, that's not exactly... I mean, unless you go up to, like, a room itself, like a bedroom.
Yes, that's what he meant with the silver.
Yeah.
Okay. Arthur sits down at the table. Sit.
Yeah, he would sit.
Well, now that we are alone, the Lord has been poisoned. I just don't want to alert the small folks.
The Lord's been poisoned!
Shut the hell up, you peasant. And I've been able to track that the wine you sold to House Tully was the wine that had the poison in it.
Oh. Lord!
So, who have access to your wares? Do you have an assistant, or is it you? I'm Natty.
I am the sole owner of my stall, sir.
Yes,
I sell the goods to all of the citizens of this fine city. Anybody could have bought my wares.
Okay, who did buy your wares?
Lots of people. I'm a wine
of
merchant. It's a
note?
festival. Everybody buys wine.
Anybody of note? Any servants of the castle? Did you buy wine from anybody in particular?
Well, I get my ones all across the land. Well, not all across the land, but all sorts of different sources. I've been buying from the Dornish. I've been buying from the across the Westeros. I've been just across the sea a little. Here and there, brought my wares. I've been selling one for 20 years now.
Very well. That is very good. Now, okay. Now, but is anybody from does anybody from the castle buy wine from you? Do you have a ledger?
Yeah, there's been some this group of servants came by and but recently acquired a set of wine from me. Here, well, my ledger is back at the stall, but it was a small group of people from the castle. I noticed them that they had a couple of knights with them and a couple of servants, and they bought some food, some wine, some.
Okay, I will escort you back to your stall. You will retrieve your ledger, and I will escort you to the inn where my lord, the lord and lady in charge of this investigation, will speak with you. And I guess I just do all that.
Yeah, you could do that in the background for now. We'll focus on the other group for a little bit. Obviously, because we're gonna give them a chance to do something else too. So, the rest of the group, which is still at the back of the castle, you saw Arthur leave with his doggy dog. What are you guys doing?
Well, that's a good question. I'm not quite sure what else is going on within the city other than this poisoning and this investigation. And my character's not well suited to any of that. So I'm going to see if there's any tournaments or anything going on.
Alright.
Yeah, I'll be doing the same.
Oh, okay. How do you pronounce that again? I need to. Where is it? I just.
Karn is not suited for any of this.
I just had it up. There is the events are still on. They may some of them may not know what's going on, and some of them may know. But the main point is keep the populace distracted, because this is definitely something that could worry.
Precisely. And since I'm trying to become people's champion, I need to.
Hold on. It's I just had it up, but then I had to go and close it like a dumbass. It's not the archery, it's not the master's.
Damn it, it's not the archery?
Nope. It is the equestrian competition.
Ooh, yay, writing.
Horsies. My character is gonna stay with, like, if Edmure will let it, I will stay with him.
I mean, he won't mind you, like, company at this point. Really.
I shall be his company and do the intrigue.
I
So
mean,
they'll be
there's
planting
like,
in-
what's Lisa Tully, which is the second child of Holster Tully.
Wow, she got all the way from King's Landing to here that quick.
I mean, she might have been here all along. I just didn't bother to mention her.
Here's a question.
Kathleen wouldn't be here, I know that much. She was gonna be here, but something came up. But yeah, the day passes at the castle, and what's Arthur doing at the same time? And you guys look at the
I guess me and
equestrian.
go for the horse.
Are you gonna compete?
Arthur's like, oh right, I gotta go to the equestrian tournament. You stay here. If you leave, I will hunt you down and I will feed you to a dog.
Well, you wouldn't know what if it's going on or not, so.
Yeah, you've been doing that investigation. This is happening while you're investigating.
Oh, could I? He did sign up for it though.
You wanted
do
to
you
sign
sign
up
up?
for the joust, but remember that you were sidetracked because of this, so you never actually signed up for anything.
Yeah. Can I roll memory to see if he remembers that he has to sign up for the joust and all the tournaments?
Yeah, sure. Because you, like, you were literally sidetracked and you went the other way.
8.
I mean, I don't believe that's a hard check. That
Arthur's like, oh shit, I gotta go sign up for things. He goes, you stay here. If you leave, I will hunt you down, hunt all your children down, and feed them to the dog.
I assume that you at the stall or at the inn. I mean, at the stall he would stay.
At the inn.
He nods. He doesn't want to cause trouble. He knows that if you're telling the truth, which most likely you are.
Arthur goes up and signs up for all the competitions.
I mean, I imagine that your character has like a sigil of Karstark.
Well, it's technically his own postal sigil. It's a knight riding a direwolf wielding a scythe with this Karstark symbol sun above it.
So you would still have the Karstark thingy, so it would be recognizable that, hey, this guy is a knight and not just a common peasant, pretty much.
Also, yeah. So,
Okay.
yeah.
If possible, Khan will be taking part of the competition. He will not win, but he will be taking part.
Okay, I mean, we might as well do the competition at the same time, so I'm just gonna roll how many participants there's gonna be. D6. Oh my, that's gonna take forever.
Arthur, is there anybody willing to take bets on Arthur?
I'm competing.
No, I meant him.
That's fine.
No, Arthur Karstark is anybody willing to take bets?
Well, that's up to you.
My character does not have enough money for bets.
There's not exactly any bet in here. I mean, there's some horse owners and be like, yeah, my horse is the best and he's gonna win. And so some of them are just bragging, but
Arthur says, I bet you 100 silver. I bet you, I put 100 silver stags on me winning.
And who are you saying that to?
The horse breeder who's acting all arrogant.
let's see. I mean, horse breeders aren't super rich. Let me see how How much is a horsey worth these days?
10,000 for a Destria, 1,200 for a Destria, 1,200 for a Sandseed, 1,000 for a Destria, 600 for I think a Charger, and they're pretty expensive.
Yeah, horse merchants might be actually really well off. Well, horse breeders. Yeah, there they are, 600,000. Garen, Mule, Pony, Ramsey. Oh yeah, Ramsey, it's one of those shitty horses.
Don't call my horse a shitty horse.
Start, feed. 100? Let me see. Would he be willing to take that bet? No. Unfortunately not.
No one's willing to bet out. I will pay anybody 10 to 1. Match the bet 10 to 1. Nope.
Nah,
Nope.
not really. I mean, the winning prize for this whole competition is, well, to receive overtures to breed it.
Whatever.
Yeah, it's a horse competition. What do you expected?
Arthur gets on his Destria Thunder.
Alright, let's see. So the first part of the equestrian competition, unless somebody wants to do something, no?
No.
Okay, well, we might as well do the equestrian competition. We won't do the whole initiative, since it's the whole difficulty. It goes up, and the first difficulty is 6, I believe. Of animal high handling ride, if you have it.
Ooh.
Let's give you guys a slight challenge. So let's draw a couple of easy ones. A servant, a small folk. Let's throw in a noble.
Deegan, me, you did not do well. We passed though.
Let's throw in a.
Rolling 2 1s sucked for both of us.
Just nobody have fucking animal handling? Oh, there we go. That's one. That's slightly. Oh, one of my NPCs already failed with a 5. It was the noble. I love it. I love it.
Make all the player characters all roll 2 1s. Oof.
So this fancy ass knight goes up to his noble steed and falls on his fucking ass.
Arthur rides past him and goes, "Yeah, you probably shouldn't drink before competitions."
He just fucking embarrassed himself.
I'm just glad I didn't drink before this competition.
We didn't have time to
Just for fun.
I know.
What's the difficulty?
6.
6.
I just want to see what I would get.
No?
No.
Fall off immediately.
Twice.
Well,
Difficulty nine.
I'm a woman. I'm not supposed to be good.
So, round 2, difficulty 9.
Not there.
And I'm out.
14.
Okay,
You rolled the exact same
Smallfall
thing.
out. Servant out. Noble was already out. The
Was also out.
other certain knight.
You have 2 more people.
Hold on, I need to bring up the NPC page up from the book.
I will be out next round.
Animal handling tree. Yeah, he doesn't have any ride. He's still in. And the guy who actually has ride. So 2 of my NPCs are still in. Out of 6. So difficulty
So it's 4
goes
people
up
left.
from 9 to 12, I believe.
Yep.
Holy crap!
You live!
I rolled amazing. I rolled 1 away from maximum for my character.
The little almost knight fails.
We have a name for almost knights. They're called squires.
Or hedge knights.
And the actual knight makes it.
So,
Next difficulty is
15.
15.
15?
you could both still make it.
It has been fun.
Khan, on the other hand, not so much.
18.
Next difficulty is 18, if I remember.
Indeed.
I rolled 2 twice, I rolled 2 ones.
It would be 18. Next one. So
Okay.
roll again.
19. Make
Still
it.
in and
Yeah.
exactly.
Exactly, makes it.
And now it's...
Arthur says you want to call it a draw?
Well, there would need to be a winner, wouldn't it?
There must be a winner!
So it's literally the one who rolls slightly better than the other one at this point because
Actually, no, at this point it's 21 until someone fails.
well,
Okay.
okay, 21, I guess.
Good luck.
Okay.
Oh!
21.
I know I'm gonna fail. Yeah, there we go.
There we go.
He gave up you a really good fight, though.
Arthur goes out to him and says, Good show, good show.
Ah, damn it! I didn't quite make the jump.
I'm surprised I made it as far as I did.
So, what does Arthur win?
Well, you get to win the right to breed your horse.
Well, I guess this one's on. I guess you get something, Thunder.
Nay.
Pretty much, you get offers to breed with a horse B. And C and D.
I mean,
I'm gonna go start talking about my named beer.
Arthur's like, he goes, okay, how much do you want me for the price? Stud price?
You're going to steal your horse?
No, stud is when you have someone breed.
Yeah, let's see. I'm gonna give you some luck rolls on these. Let's see.
So is that the only competition for today?
Yes, because that's a big one.
I go back to the tavern to drink.
That would actually take the whole day, pretty much.
Yeah, Arthur says, Arthur says, okay, how much for the stud price? And I have somewhere I need to go. Arthur says that.
But let's see. Let's throw you some prices. So first, how many offers do you get? 5. I need to bring up the page for thingamabob. The money. Okay, so little secreted roll. 141. So the first offer is like, oh, I'll give you 2 moons for it.
Yeah, Arthur's like, no.
The other offer is from this farmer-looking fella, and he's like, I'll give you 10 silver pieces for it.
No.
And the third one would be around the same. Let's see, fourth one. Alright, that's that could be actually something. Let's see. 6 plus. Let's give you a roll of Finally, you get a decent offer of like 30 silver pieces, which is actually quite a lot.
Arthur says, very well. How long will you need my horse? I need it for the joust.
Yeah, that would probably take what, a day?
Yes. Arthur says. Arthur goes. He draws up a business contract. He goes, sign. It's probably a lot of spelling errors.
Yeah, and the last like cheap guy comes up to you and is like all choosing pickers, and it's like, can I have it for 5 silver?
Go away. So Arthur says, draws up a business contract and stamps it with his house's sigil ring. He goes, okay, sign here.
Yeah, you signed the contract and...
Okay, I will bring my horse back to me in 1 day, or outside the contract stipulates I get to feed you to a direwolf.
And everybody take a drink. We have our first...
Oh yeah, it came up.
It's not exactly a sex scene that you were expecting, but it's a sex scene between 2 horses.
Oh.
The drinking game rules that were
Okay.
for Game of Thrones.
Anyways, if anybody doesn't have anything else to do today in character, I think honestly that's a good stopping point. We're starting to...
Yeah.
Yep.
All Nora would do would just be like comfort Edmure and his family.
Right, you're still at Edward's side. Something would happen at nearing the night or evening.
Okay.
If you're curious.
Yes, I am. You have sparked my curiosity.
a house enters the hall. I mean, you don't see it, but you're informed that the Freys are finally here.
Love the enthusiasm.
Yay, they're here. Great.
And Arthur's gonna go back to and interrogate the guy. And so is that the end of the session?
I believe so, unless you want to ask something really specific from him. Otherwise, we can leave that to either next session, or we can do like text roleplay, either way.
I would suggest wait until next week, because that'll give you an entire week to think of questions.
Yeah, next week would be good.
Connor's just gonna go drink.
Okay.
So XP, and I've got a suggestion.
Yeah.
For the GM.